Welcome back to the Try Eat channel, where we don't give a Hyman sandwich what you had for dinner. I'm Rob.
I'm Neil.
That's for Stefana. She's our camera person, and she gets really upset if we don't introduce ourselves. And I'm sure I'm going to get a kick in the nuts at one point. But our video ended abruptly last time because my phone's a piece of fucking shit. And we were talking about bacon lettuce Todd. And we gave you the origin story of bacon lettuce Todd, his name. And we were talking about, we got cut off. He came into B-Dubs where we were working, and he was wasted. And he had just come off a bender, smoking crack and drinking and fucking a hooker at Red Roof Inn for a couple days. And he
pre-shift.
Yeah, he was. I don't know what he was doing. No, he was already been fired from B-Dubs at that point. He was a lab rat by then.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And we could talk about later on about how he's a lab rat, because that's pretty intensive too. But we were on our book to movie list is what this video is about, and I did Bringing Out the Dead at one of my favorite adaptations to a Martin Scorsese picture. My number 10 was Factotum. Number 9 was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and we were on your number 8, so we'll pick up from there.
Yeah, your list is killer, man. And mine, to recap, 10 was Great Expectations. Number 9, The Outsiders. And then my number 8 is Ready Player One. Really fun book. I've read that and Ready Player 2 since. I like both of them. The book is by Ernest Cline in 2011. And then the film came out in 2018 by Steven Spielberg, and starts off in Columbus, Ohio in 2045, where we live. Mm-hmm. So that was a cool part that grabbed my attention right off the bat. And I know we talked a lot about how you experience a movie goes into your memories of it, and then whether you're going to put it in your top 10 or, And I remember taking my daughter to see this, which was cool.
Yeah.
Which it's cool to be stoned or drunk at the movies too. However, this when I was sober and with my
I
daughter.
try to be sober now when I'm at the movies.
Yeah.
My mom, before I didn't get wasted a lot for the movies.
No, but just maybe a 40 or 2 or a joint.
It's good to black out and go to the movies. Come
Or
out, and when you
concert.
see it the next time, you're like, shit. It's like a whole new experience. Yeah.
So the characters were great in this. One of our actors that we both liked recently, Ben Mendelsohn, plays the asshole character in this movie, and he nails it. He's really good. One of the reasons I enjoyed the books and the movie so much is the references back to the 80s, childhood. Mm-hmm. I was born in 77, so a lot of this stuff really hit home for me.
I was born in 95, but I've been getting a lot of people tell me about that shit. Well, yeah, let's talk about some of the reference. I'm itching to get back to Bacon Lettuce Todd.
Yeah, I am too. Some of the ones I just wrote down, I rewatched the movie the other night. You got the Back to the Future references with the DeLorean, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Here's some movies real quick. That one, Beetlejuice, Dark Crystal, Gremlins, Purple Rain, Breakfast Club. All great movies from childhood. The Joy Division t-shirt we mentioned for a music reference. That I've got on my shelf because I want to listen to more of that.
Yeah,
get into that. I think I'll
it's a great band.
really like that. And then there's a great scene in the movie where they're going through a maze, which is like The Shining. And I know that might be in your book to movie Adaptations.
It is.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But a great movie, Stanley Kubrick.
Oh yeah.
And then the book, Stephen King, awesome.
Both
awesome. And then last but definitely not least, we do have a hand job reference.
I want to give you credit. You made a really organic hand job reference. You pulled it out, and I'll let you do it. But we're gonna have to. We need to. It's like copy and paste. We got to paste this hand job reference, and we promised a hand job reference in every video, and we failed to.
This one lost its spontaneity, but
yeah, we failed to deliver a few times, but you got it.
So
the hand job right back in where it goes.
One of the really cool characters, H, in the movies, played by No.8. Great character, and they have a workshop where they have the Iron Giant and a bunch of cool toys and references. And one of the things that they have is the bicycle from Pee-wee's Playhouse. And I don't know if people know this reference, but Paul Rubens, who played Pee Wee Herman, got arrested for self-hand jobbing at an X-rated theater back when we were younger. That was in the news.
I've never done a self-hand job in the theater, and I've never done a self-hand jobbing. I've never even done self-hand jobbing at work. I'm gonna go off here on a tangent because I did we're talking about self-hand jobbing. When I was 16, I did a self-hand job in the bathroom, the small bathroom next to my kitchen. And when you're 16, you go in there and you might even finish before you're fully hard. Well, I was doing it. I heard my dad come into the kitchen. There's not a lot of space, and there's not a lot of. He could have heard if I would have got nasty with myself. And I started talking shit, but I didn't. And the thing that happened, and this was before I admitted to my friends or anybody really talked about jerking off. Well, I did a good one, and I shot right in my fucking eye. And after you come, I always felt a little remorseful back then, anyways. So I had to wash off, and I came out into the kitchen, and I swear, and I wasn't stoned, I wasn't on anything. I swore Dad could tell by looking at me that I just shot a load in my own eye, and he was disappointed. And I felt strange the rest of that evening. But that was off point. But you said self-hand jobbing. So I figured I'd mention that.
So did you ever return to that same place to
jerk off?
To do a self-hand
Self-hand jobbing? I'm sure I did self-hand jobbing in there again. I like the bigger bathroom so that I could get my legs over my head and scream.
And then that Seinfeld Costanza gets caught self-hand jobbing to a Glamour magazine by his mom.
And then I'll tell you one more about self-hand jobbing. And I don't think he never did this, but my cousin, Seth, my cousin, who was my roommate for the longest time, he always said he wanted to start jerking off and getting really close to coming, and then yell cramp, and have his dad come in when he was getting ready to shoot. But that's no. I want to get back to Bacon Lettuce Todd, but self-hand. I'm sure he's gave himself a lot of self-hand jobbings. And we were talking about Bacon Lettuce Todd, your 80s references, and I said I dressed for the occasion. This is the closest thing I have to a real 80s t-shirt. I was going to wear a Madonna Like a Virgin. I was just going to take a white t-shirt and put a pink dot on it for a tight pussy. Because I can't show my asshole because it's like a fucking flat tire. It doesn't look real good on camera. But Bacon Lettuce Todd, and he was into, we actually started talking about some music and stuff together, and he was into 9 Inch Nails. I burned him a copy of With Teeth. And but then he started talking about Judas Priest. And but he reminded me a little bit of Judas Priest. He came in one shift with his head just completely shaved, still had a goatee, and I was like, "What's up, man? You shave your head, you going bald?" And he's like, "Nah." It's like every once in a while I get drunk and black out and wake up and I've shaved my head bald. And he said he's got a buddy that does it too. And then he started. I asked him his friends, "They ever been in here to see it work or anything?" He's like, "I can't tell them that I work here." I was like, "Why can't you tell your friend where you work?" And he said, "Well, the last job I had, he said he was scheduled to go in, and his friends had called up and called the boss, told him that this was Bacon Lettuce Todd. I'm sure they said his real name, and they said they called his boss a big fat stupid prick, and I'm not coming in." And he said he went into his shift and he got fired. So Bacon Lettuce Todd must have had some interesting friends. I never did see any of them, but he looked like Rob Halford from Judas Priest with a shaved head. He was bigger, Roby, and
fatter version.
He's a bigger version of Rob Halford. And another one I can relate another story to Bacon Lettuce Todd. I just mentioned my cousin Seth, and one night Bacon Lettuce Todd ended up at our house after work, and he was annihilated, wasted. And I don't know if you were there, I can't remember, but I got pretty drunk, so I lucked out of having to drive him home. My cousin Seth was my roommate, had to drive him home. And he took him home, and he was getting annoyed with him. Seth was telling me later on. Bacon Lettuce Todd must have been touching like his radio and his gear shift and shit. So he finally gets him down close to his apartment. He had trouble even him telling him where he lived. So he said he basically pulls up on the side of the road in the alley and shoves Bacon Lettuce Todd out of the car. And Bacon Lettuce Todd looks up and says, "You want to come upstairs and fuck my mother?" And then Seth's like, he said he just books it out of there. And we saw Bacon Lettuce Todd the next night. We go over to the bar next door for a drink post work, and Bacon Lettuce Todd comes up, and we're like, hey, do you remember telling Seth, asking Seth to come upstairs and fuck your mom last night? And he just said, nah, that doesn't sound too out of character. Now, I can tie that to a movie that I think of, and it's a good film, David O. Russell, Spanking the Monkey, where it's incestuous. It's a really crazy subject matter where the mom and a son get to fucking.
I haven't seen it.
Maybe that's where Bacon Lettuce Todd got the idea. I don't think, but he was having somebody else do it. But yeah, it's my first exposure to David O. Russell. My next one, or the one I'm going to put on my shelf, which is something you can do at tryu.com. Find a movie. If you've never seen Spanking the Monkey and you're interested in people fucking their mothers, put that one on your shelf. But Three Kings, I love that movie, and I forgot it was David O. Russell.
Clooney, Ice Cube?
Yep.
Yeah.
Spike Jonze. And great film. I'm going to watch that again. So, yeah, you come to tryu.com. If you got a movie and you don't want to forget it, we have a feature where for a book, movies, and music, you put it on your shelf for later. But we'll leave it here, and we'll be back next time, and I promise more Bacon Lettuce Todd for all of you. Bye.